everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make a review document. But before I get into the video, I just wanted to ask you out of curiosity if you guys would be interested in seeing a Q&A video from me. Someone requested it and I was curious to know if more people would like to see that. So if you are interested in me doing a Q&A video, just give this video a thumbs up and leave your questions in the comments down below. Or if you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, just write on like my main page or in a personal message any question you want me to answer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile them and just answer as many as I can in a future video. So with that being said, today's video is about a review document and how to make one. I'm just going to show you what I do. We're going to basically start off with slides and then we're going to move on to like textbook type of review documents, but basically what it is a more condensed version of your notes or your summaries, and this document is what I use the night before, the day before, or even the second before I go into the classroom to take my exam. It's kind of like, how can I explain this? An espresso shot of information basically. And this is what the review document looks like. This is from the class I had last semester, so this is a final review document. So before my final exam, this is all I studied the night before after I did my practice test. Unfortunately, I picked a bad pencil and it leaked through the pages. That's why it's only on one side, but I highly recommend you do it on both sides. That's how I usually do it. This is just an exception because it looked pretty leaky, so I just, I just used one page. So basically for my final I had 1, 2, 3, and 4 pages of notes to review. And see, they're all like really important, like lists and things that I need to just basically remember, not like really understand, but remember sometimes word per word, and it's hard, I need to repeat it over and over and over again. So now that you know what a review document looks like, I am going to show you how to make one. So I thought, why not start with these slides? I'm just going to put this one aside. So these are basically my class notes. And I went over the slides and I just underlined what was important on the first go, mind you. Now I know more, so I think I went a bit crazy with the highlighting. To give you a quick overview, this lecture mostly focused on Freud's psychoanalytic theory, and you see here different levels of consciousness, structures of personality, some defense mechanisms, and theorized mental apparatus. So that is what these slides focus on. And now I want to stress out that what should be on your review document are 3 things. Lists. Keep an eye out for enumerated things that require a lot of repetition and a lot of memorizational efforts, if you want to call it so, for you to keep it in your mind, and things that just blatantly sound like the professor will ask this in the first question. The second thing is things you don't know. So if you remember something, do not write it on the review document. It should be a help for you, not an extra chore you have to do. And the third thing is things that are like not easy to understand, like numbers or percentages that you think the teacher might ask. So keep it short. It should be like you saw from my first example, lists, 1 phrase, bullet points, and that's it. Keep it as minimal as possible with the most crucial of crucial, creme de la creme information for your final. So the way I'm going to do it here is I'm going to show you a few examples of what I would add to my own personal review document. Dealing with conversion hysteria, let's see here what it says. Transference, expressing problem onto someone else. Sexual basis, hysterical symptoms derived from sexual abuse, real or fantasized. Now, for the record, I know what these 2 terms mean because I've seen them in previous classes and I know them by heart. If I see these terms on the exam, I'll know what they are. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to write it on the review document because I know them. Yay, high five for me, high five. Oh, there. My camera's on the tripod so I can actually high five myself. So yeah. Moving on, this is just like a description of Freud's psychoanalytic theory. I'm sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble speaking today. Different levels of consciousness: conscious, pre-conscious, and the unconscious. Again, I know these, but if you don't, write it on the review document. Moving on, structures of personality: id, ego, superego. If I wouldn't know this as a psych student, graduate psych student, I would be ashamed of myself. And yeah, I know them. Bottom line, it's not going on the review document. Here, energy can be expressed through defense mechanisms. Haha, I know this. So, not on the review document. Do you see how easy it is? I know I'm repeating myself and you're like, Anna, you're not writing anything. We want to see you write down something. No, this is what goes on through my mind when I legit do the review document, and this is how picky you should be. See how picky I am? I haven't written anything down. Anything. It's blank. However, here is where it gets ugly. Some defense mechanisms. Now, here, I think that these are very important because the teacher talked about them a lot, and I have to admit, I can never remember them all for the life of me. The way I would write this is really, really straightforward. So, defense mechanism. See how short that is? That is your review document. Don't go too detailed. It needs to be quick. You need to read it really fast. Abbreviate, punctuate, just shorten as much as you can. Let's say you don't know what projection means. What you can do is, for this term, just in particular, let's say you know all of them except for this one, you can just write projection. What you feel you projected onto the other. So that's how I would help myself know what that means. But another thing you can do is you can give yourself an example. So you can write, imagine it's on the same line, you can write a cheater. So someone that cheats on an exam says that, hey, I'm doing it because everyone cheats. So you project your behavior or what you feel or what you think onto others, saying that like, hey, everyone does it, or like you do it because you assume the other person does it, and that's just how you help yourself to know what that word is. You see, this is all I needed for all of this. All of this I mostly know, I'm comfortable with the material, or I did well on the practice test. However, I feel that it is very important for me to repeat this list of defense mechanisms before my exam, because I feel they are crucial, and I feel like I need to know word per word and like need to enumerate them by heart and memorize these by heart for my exam. And I don't know them. So that's why they're on the review documents. Now I want to move on, because I don't want this video to be an hour long. I want to move on to textbook notes, but basically this is the same thing. Be very picky on what you put on your review document. This one deals with teens and bipolar disorder. It says here what is bipolar disorder, and see, highlighted alternating up mania and down depression phases. So if you want, actually that can be a really cool thing to write down, just kind of like a memorization for you if you don't know. Although I don't like math, my review document is starting to look like one big formula. But basically, it's kind of like in my own style, in my own words, in my own structure, as opposed to copy-pasting the entire phrase in your notes. So that's all I wrote for, like, let's say this paragraph, because basically that's what it's explaining. But this is all I need to know for my final. Before I go on, I want to say a little quick point or quick tip. When you do your review document, take your textbook notes and your slides, and you don't have to read the whole thing anymore. You're way past that. What you do is you check out what you highlighted, what you saw was important in the first place, and then you shrink that even more. So if you see me looking here, I even ignore this, because I read this before and I found that the only important thing is that. The rest I'm comfortable or familiar with. So just when you do a review document, it has to be easy, it has to be simple, it has to be quick. Like I said, the cherry on top, the creme fouettée on top of your latte, that's what you need to look for. These I think are the most important ones because the list goes on, but the teacher specifically kept mentioning these ones. So that is why I highlighted them, and that is why I believe that these are the ones that he's gonna ask us on the exam. So how are we gonna write this? There you go. And that is all I need to know about that. And the rest of the document I am comfortable with, and I aced when I did my practice exam. So voila, and that is all I wrote for my review document. I know you guys might be like, well, that's not a lot. I don't know why you spend so much time just saying, no, 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 I know this, no, 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 I know this. But basically what I was trying to show is how picky you have to be on what goes on your review document. And also, you know, for the sake of time, I couldn't really go through the whole textbook or the whole like class slide, because I have like, I don't know, 46 slides per class, so that would be insane. But if there's something you didn't understand or there's something you want me to clarify, please let me know. It would be my pleasure to do it. And with that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe to me if you like what you see. I will definitely see you in my next video. Bye guys!